Welcome to the WAN show. It's on time. Weird, isn't it? It's crazy. It's like someone isn't here. We've got some pretty interesting topics this week. Valve to address review bombing in new update to user review systems. Interesting. Also, even potentially more interesting, Facebook patent to use user photos as ads.
Also, Amazon workers may be listening to you through your Echo device.
Done.
All this and more. Roll the intro.
Boom! Wow.
It's Friday.
Squarespace.
Squarespace.
Private internet access.
PIA.
And I'm trying to do this thing over here. Displate.
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 Displate. Displate right here. Displate behind me.
Let me just make sure this thing is going. Looks like it is, and we're back.
We're back, baby.
There we go.
See Displate?
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But first,
Valve addressing review bombing. You see this pretty often, actually.
review bombing, that is?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So, like, a new game will come out, especially for smaller games, where, like, 100, 200 reviews is going to be a very significant portion of the reviews on the platform. You will see brigading, where, like, a group of people decide that they don't like or that they do like. I believe review bombing has happened in the other direction as well. It's something that's probably more common on
Like, we need
Amazon.
to, it's basically upvoting it. Let's get this to the front page.
Yeah. Just like how on Amazon people can buy positive reviews. I don't necessarily know if this stuff is purchased, but you'll get a group of people that, whether they've really played a game or not, they have like 1 minute on record. They're like, "This is the greatest thing ever." Very positive review. So yeah, I think it goes in both directions. And the ways that Valve wants to address this, I think are pretty interesting. This is driving me nuts. There's these headphones that are plugged in right now, and everything we say is coming out of them, and I can just vaguely hear it on the side.
So when review bombing happens,
Yeah.
is that usually when the game comes out, or is it sometimes just randomly, like 5 years later?
Yeah, it can happen way later down the line too. One of the interesting ones is like a patch will come out or an expansion or something, and then it'll get tanked at that point in time. And on Steam, you can see all-time and recent. So if you're viewing a game and like the all-time is very positive, but the recent is like very negative, that's pretty bad as well. So it can take a surprisingly low amount of reviews to really sway people's perceptions, because if you have enough people to slam a game that's decently old, but you can make the recent go to very positive or very negative or whatever way you want to push it, you can really affect people's decisions on things.
So where are those brigades organized? Does that usually happen on the subreddit for the game, or on Discord, or
gaming subreddits, gaming Discord? There's a bunch of different ways. I think there's also a little bit where like this is almost more of a mentality thing. I think there's two. So I think there's two other things going on too. Is one, if you're like, I'm not really sure, and then you see the game and it has mixed reviews, you'll probably go, yeah, and give it a mixed review. If you're like, I'm not really sure, but everyone else is rating it very positive, you might go like, it was pretty all right.
Oh.
So I think there's some that happens where it's just things are swayed. But another problem that they're going after is something that I saw on, and this actually pissed me off. I saw this on a local review of Mucho Burrito recently.
Okay.
Some guy rated it 1 star because he ordered some Mucho Burrito from Skip the Dishes, and the like delivery was late or something.
Ah, that's weak.
Like that's a completely unrelated thing. And one of the ways that Valve wants to address this is to.
This is actually exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
With this new announcement.
They want to deal with off-topic review bombs.
Right. So let's just like introduce it in terms of the article.
Yeah.
So in an effort to keep games' review scores, which is something we didn't talk about yet, is not only are people leaving reviews, but the reviews they leave are contributing to an overall review score. In an effort to keep the game's review scores as a meaningful indicator for whether or not someone should buy the game, Valve is now rolling out a new review system for Steam that detects off-topic review bombing and removes the impact of these reviews from the game's review store.
Yeah.
Important distinction there. They are not removing the reviews. The reviews are staying on there. You can still read all of them.
Yeah.
They're just removing the contribution of those reviews to the overall score. It's not fair. Let's say there's a lot of the off-topic DRM things are about DRM.
Yeah.
Or it's just, if in Steam's estimation here, they have a little criteria
I
that they
do
decided.
kind of think that should affect it personally, but
Well, this is the meat of this topic, is
Yeah.
the gray area. So we've already defined for you what a review bomb is. Now let's talk about what an off-topic review bomb is. Steam says, when the focus of those reviews is on a topic that Valve considers unrelated to the likelihood that future purchasers will be happy if they buy the game, and hence not something that should be added to the review score.
okay. Yeah, see, because like if we pull this away from gaming temporarily, if you wanted to review something on like Rotten Tomatoes, and you went to go review Hellboy, which is currently 11 out of 100, and you were like, think about it in both sides. If you wanted to rate a movie a 0, or just don't do it because it's Rotten Tomatoes, because you went to the theater and the popcorn sucked,
Yeah.
that would be really stupid.
Just like the skip the dishes thing.
Yeah, if you wanted to review Hellboy as definitely go watch it because the popcorn was great, that's equally stupid. So like I like the getting rid of off-topic things. I am going to be very interested in what they deem as off-topic because the DRM thing is extremely on-topic in my opinion.
So on their announcement blog, there's a section at the bottom, underneath where they outline what they're doing. They have a Q&A section, and DRM is actually specifically called out there. And the Q part is, I care about some things that I worry other players don't, like DRM or EULA changes. Review bombs have been...
EULA changes are also super important.
Review bombs have been about them in the past. Do you consider them unrelated or off topic? And the answer is, we had long debates about these two and others like them. They're technically not part of the game, but they are an issue for some players. In the end, we decided to define them as off topic because the general Steam player doesn't care as much about them. So the review score is more accurate if it doesn't contain them. In addition, we believe that players who do care about topics like DRM are often willing to dig a little deeper into games before purchasing, which is why we still keep all the reviews within the review bombs. It only takes a minute to dig into those reviews to see if the issue is something you care
Which
about.
basically no one's going to do.
Well, they're saying that the people who care about the issues like DRM are the kind who would do that.
I care about issues like DRM, and I don't have the freaking time to read through every damn review on your freaking game.
Fair enough.
Sass face. I just that's really annoying to me because games like I don't even know if this was on Steam to be completely honest, but the newer Assassin's Creed games, Origins I believe specifically had a de novo or something. I think it had like 3 different layers of DRM, and it was crippling. I did a stream of that game when it first came out and ran my like CPU usage statistics the entire time I was playing, and would like go into different areas and look at things as I was benchmarking it because I was like, holy crap, this thing is thrashing me way harder than it should be, and it was really interesting to test. That doesn't mean it's a good game for people because the system's getting thrashed and I found it interesting. It does not mean it's good for the general person, but I do think a lot of people should know because it was genuinely really hard for people to run if they didn't have a decent enough CPU.
So maybe don't buy it.
Yeah.
So it should.
So
in that
maybe
sense,
don't
it
buy the
should.
damn game. And then there's been, was it Kerbal Space Program or something had a really weird EULA update that made it so that like, yeah, you probably shouldn't buy this game.
Oh wow.
I could be super inflammatory saying Kerbal Space Program.
Now I must know.
EULA spyware.
EULA. End user license agreement, guys.
Kerbal Space Program's new EULA makes it spyware. Take-Two is not...
Quite the headline.
Yeah, I don't know very much about this, to be completely clear. And I think it's going to take quite a bit to dive into, but my stance is just going to be that EULA updates are very important.
Okay.
And DRM stuff can be very important. I think people review bombing every single game that comes out that has DRM on it is like maybe a little excessive. But when people are like, the DRM implementation in this game is ridiculous and extremely detrimental, and we should probably all get very angry about this, I think that's very valid.
Well, luckily for people like you and those who share your opinion, you can completely opt out of this. You can entirely opt out. So there's going to be a checkbox, or I think it's there now. There is now a checkbox in your Steam store options where you can choose to have off-topic review bombs still included in all the review scores you see. Sweet.
Cool.
Thank you for the option.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we have a little bit more information about how they're doing this, what their process is. Basically, they made some kind of automated tool that looks at the frequency of reviews. So let's say a game came out, it's been out for 2 years, and suddenly it gets a huge number of reviews. Yeah. It'll get flagged, and that's all the tool does. The tool doesn't try to figure out why or at all. All it does is say, hey, look at this anonymous activity, and then a team of humans will then look at it.
Okay.
And then these people have already been trained at looking at review bombs in the past, or off-topic review bombs in the past.
Yeah.
So they can determine. I mean, because there's review bombs that are normal, you know, like a lot of reviews because the game came out today, and we all love it. Yeah. We all want everyone to buy Red Dead or something.
Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2 was a game that had like almost no marketing and then got positively review bombed, if you want to call it that, because tons of people that played it thought it was amazing, and then it sold really well, which is great.
Here's another little wrinkle. When they determine that this period of time represents an off-topic review bomb, they don't have much sensitivity in saying which are gonna stay and which are gonna be deemed bad. So it's like, okay, this weekend, this 2-day period, people you were getting review bombed. We're gonna remove all of those reviews from contributing to the review score. Negative. Well, even if you just legitimately happened to review that day and it was a genuine review that's not about DRM or EULA or something that they think is off topic, your review is gonna get discounted.
That's super bad in my opinion.
Yes, it is, but I think it's a drop in the bucket for the overall score, probably.
But that's not, that nullifies major, not really, because then so that nullifies major EULA and DRM and whatever else they decide is off topic changes from being noticed by the general public, because most people are not going to, most people are not going to go into their settings and make it so that this thing doesn't apply to them. And most people, let's assume the Kerbal Space Program thing is real. I don't know. I'd never looked into it too deeply. I just shared it to one of my friends that plays the game. And I don't know. But let's assume that it's spyware now. I don't know.
Hypothetically.
I would want to know that. That EULA is technically unrelated or whatever they called it. So the recent reviews would still show up as very positive, I believe, because I believe that's what Kerbal Space Program is. But the recent reviews when that came out made it very negative.
The score would be positive. The written reviews would still be negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people aren't going to scroll through the reviews. They're just going to go, oh, all time very positive, recent very positive, sounds good. Game looks interesting, let's go.
Oh, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, let's say everyone goes and bombs it. Yeah. And the score is unaltered because they deemed it off topic. What I'm saying is, if there happened to be a guy who came in and just gave a review during that same weekend and was like, and doesn't know.
Oh no, I know. So what I'm saying with that is like, it will nullify any of this news, basically. Because I guess because that's. Yeah, I know. I guess what I'm saying is pretty off. All right, sounds good. I guess
it's still valid.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that you're nullifying everything, because it will make any major change that people like that isn't directly related to gameplay, because I think that's effectively what they're saying, is only gameplay things will ever get mentioned.
Well, they're not explicitly saying that. That might be like de facto what it means.
Yeah, I definitely, but it feels like that's what it's going to end up being. Any problem that is ever unrelated to gameplay, I'm assuming at this point, is just going to disappear.
So you're saying, by saying that, I think you're indicating that the score is very important. That's the main thing you look at as a Steam user.
I would assume it's the main thing that a lot of people look at, because it's the main thing that's projected. When you go to a game on the store, let's try this out. Let's look at Risk of Rain.
That's actually the forecast for this weekend on Saturday.
Okay. Let's go to my screen. Risk of Rain 2. It doesn't have a recent because the game just freaking came out, so it makes sense. All reviews, overwhelmingly positive, 10,000 reviews. I don't think most people are going to click on this. They're just going to see overwhelmingly positive and go, great. This video that's auto-playing looks interesting. It's overwhelmingly positive. Maybe scroll down and
What
see
do you have
like
to do to get to the? You
a
just
couple
scroll
of my
down?
friends play it, whatever. I think you have to go pretty far. Recent updates about the game, key features, system requirements, more like this. What curators say,
pretty far.
reviews down here. I don't think most people are reading reviews. They're super buried. I think you can get there.
Strawpoll?
Sweet.
Strawpoll.
This is going to be so. Before we do the straw poll, I'm going to say this is going to be one of the more skewed straw polls that we have, because we're going to have a whole bunch of power users. But if it says a whole bunch of power users are not reading reviews,
I'm pushing back on that because I don't
it's the
think you
other
need
way?
to be a power user to read reviews because I think we have such an e-commerce culture now. I always read the reviews on Amazon.
Amazon.
I'm used to scrolling all the way to the bottom of an Amazon page to get to the reviews.
that's a good point. Because usually I read all the negative reviews on Amazon, or I'll read the 1 stars.
Like you're making a purchasing decision here. I'm gonna read a couple. I'll read the top
Yeah.
positive, top negative.
Yeah.
Let's see in a straw poll.
I think you're right on that one. Okay. Do you read Steam in all capitals? I'm reviews.
Before when you're interested in buying, like before you buy, do you read a couple of reviews, or do you just use the overall score? Yes,
I'm doing
no.
like a little side test thing
Oh, I
because
see
I'm
that.
interested. So we're doing yes, no, and no, but I do on Amazon because that's my setup.
That's you.
And I'm wondering if I'm weird or if that's
You're definitely weird.
yeah. But like I wonder how much because do you read reviews for games on Steam?
Well, like if you've already heard of a game and that's why you're there, then you don't really need to read the reviews.
But that's kind of what I'm talking
It really
about.
depends on how many people are just browsing. When they're like, I want to buy a game, and I'm just gonna browse the store and just find something. It seems like usually it's word of mouth, like people you know who you game with are playing that kind of game.
I browse quite a bit. Sometimes I do word of mouth. If I get word of mouth about a product that's on Amazon, though, I still very often read the reviews. If I get word of mouth about a game on Steam, I'll check the positive negative thing because I want to know if something recent did something bad to it. Because someone might have played a game like Kerbal Space Program, for example, hypothetically. Someone might have played it and enjoyed it for like a year, and then this EULA thing comes out. I don't want a spyware game. So
Yeah.
they don't necessarily know that because they've just been playing. They're not checking the store page. They just want to play the game. So that it would be nice for me to know. And I just do a little quick check and then move on.
I wonder, I'd like to see the stats on how many people straight up opt out of this.
Yes, that would be really
Put that in your next hardware survey, even though it's not hardware. Steam, chuck it in there. How long do we have to wait before we can look at this poll results?
I want to post it in the YouTube chat really quick. I'm trying to get there.
Oh, there's so many interesting questions. How do people get new games? Because you're right, like there's especially in the indie space, there's so many new games that don't have a lot of marketing. But then you get buzz in other ways, like Apex Legends. Obviously, they had influencer marketing, but then
They had millions of dollars in influencer marketing. though.
yeah, but a lot of people heard about it from other people getting it popular. Like I heard about it like on a Monday when it was like over the weekend, 2 million people started playing this game. You're like,
But that I think was a lot of influencer marketing, and then people seeing the influencers, and then friends telling each other. It just wasn't spammed in ads. Here, wait, let's see the. Okay.
results. Do you read
Yes.
Steam game reviews? 2/3 of
But then
people
you
said
get
yes.
buzz in other ways, like Apex
Almost
Legends.
a quarter of people said no, but
Obviously
I
they
do on
had influencer
Amazon.
marketing, but
and
then
only 12% of people
They
said
had millions of
straight up
dollars in
no.
influencer marketing.
So I guess
Yeah.
no,
35%
but a lot of
of
people heard
people
about it
don't.
from other people
I'm surprised at
getting
how
it
many
popular.
that
Like I heard about it like on a
have,
Monday when it was like
But
over the
I
weekend,
would have to
2
say
million
no, but I
people
do
started
on
playing
Amazon
this
because
game.
The majority of the time, I don't.
But that I think
If a
was
game
a lot
is
of
all
influencer
time
marketing and then people seeing the
positive,
influencers
recent
and then
friends
overwhelmingly
telling
positive.
each other.
I'm not too worried about
It
reading
just
the
wasn't
reviews.
spammed
You know
in
what I mean?
ads. If a game is like has a weird disparity, all-time
Results.
overwhelming.
Do you read
recent-
Steam
negative.
game
I'm
reviews?
gonna be like, what the hell?
2/3
Tell
of
me
people
more.
said yes.
Yeah.
Buzz in other
If-
ways,
if
like
there's an
Apex
interesting
Legends.
quarter of people
story,
said no,
Obviously
but I
they
do on
had
in
Amazon
the
influencer
marketing.
all-time
And
versus
only
recent,
12%
or
of
the
people
all-time
said
millions of
straight up
dollars in
no.
influencer
So I guess
marketing.
no.
Yeah,
But a
35%
lot of people
heard
think
about
the
it
price
from
of the game, other people
impacts
I'm
this,
surprised
right?
at
getting
how
it
many
popular.
that
Like I
people-
heard
It's like
about it like on a
$10
Monday
game,
when
you're
it was
like,
like,
okay,
over the
I'm
weekend,
scrolling down.
2 million
Also
people
don't
started
publish
playing
on
this
Amazon
game.
because the
Risk
majority
of
the
Rain
time
is more
I
indie.
don't. But that,
So
if a
was
game
a lot
is
of my
all the
friends
time,
running and then
it's
he
a
would
cool
call me
roguelike friends thing,
positive.
you can play it, it's
Not
multiplayer,
but
it just wasn't
it's
spam
like
$20 and it's an indie
If a
game is like, has
Ship
it
it.
on
Your
Steam,
disparity.
overwhelmingly positive,
Results.
sick, let's do it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Do you read
Yeah,
Steam
it's
game
like
reviews?
EA game.
2/3
Tell me
of
more.
them
Yeah.
yes, does nowadays.
If
Like,
there's
it's
an
like
interesting
quarter of people
story
said
for
no,
games,
but everyone else.
but if it's an EA game that isn't free,
It's
60 or 80 bucks or something.
So I guess
Yeah,
it's different.
But a lot of
35%
people think the
more
price
for
of the game
Other
people impacts
I'm
this
surprised at how
getting
many
popular.
If
Like
it's
after
like
a
$10
$10 game, you're like, okay, we can
scroll
down.
So many people started playing this
Because
game.
the
Risk
majority
of Rain is
time,
more indie.
Oh no!
But
So if a
that's
game
a lot
is
of my
all the
friends
time,
running and then
it's
he
a
would call me
cool
with
roguelike.
God, it's so bad.
Did that fix it?
Hello?
Did that fix it?
Might be kind of time behind.
We're having a technical difficulty here.
Is it this? It shouldn't be this.
You're good now.
Is it okay?
Oh, we're good.
now. Okay.
Was it this?
It was Twitch over here,
Oh, okay.
Apparently we were getting an echo
but
that
it
was
didn't happen last time, which is weird. But I muted my
horrendous.
laptop now.
You should just mute it on this side. Just mute the black magic device.
It's minimum. It is
Oh, okay, cool.
minimumed.
minimum.
I think that's
it's not. Are you sure it's Black Magic?
Yeah,
Did
they're
you take
all-
the other cards
All
out?
Black Magic.
Well then, I don't know.
I think that's time to move to the next topic here.
But yeah, it shouldn't take audio from there. Anyways, yeah, let's move on.
Facebook patent.
Thank you, Flowplane Chat, for letting me know that was going on.
A new Facebook patent
this
reveals
is
that
so
Facebook is
creepy.
even more out of touch than you could have ever imagined.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Would you like to read us in?
So basically, what's going on here is they're gonna have an AI thingamajiggy.
Wait, hold on. It's a patent.
It's a
So
patent.
first of all,
That's fair.
they're thinking about it. They patented it. That doesn't mean it'll ever become a product. It's not a product right now.
And they're not doing it right now. Yeah. That's a very good point. But the idea is they could look through profile photos on Facebook and look for photos where someone is prominently holding a product, like a Coke can or a
Doritos bag.
or whatever else, where you can clearly see the product. And then they would be able to use those photos. They would be able to license those photos. Not to you, by the way, but they would be able to license those photos for ads on Facebook.
So they would use machine learning algorithms to identify these photos. I think they already do have.
Which would probably not be
recognition
that
software on
hard,
them.
because you just look for a logo.
And they'll train with certain domains first. Like a can, like snacks and stuff, seems pretty easy to
Yeah.
start with. Clothing would be way harder. They'll
little bit
maybe
harder.
do that later.
Yeah.
But they'll recognize these photos, they'll identify them, and then they'll pitch certain clients like, hey, Coca-Cola, here's a bunch of photos of people holding your product. Coca-Cola would then use those photos as ads that, and here's where I'm not clear. Would an ad of me holding a Coke can go only to me and my friends, or would it go to the whole Facebook network? What we have written here is from the article. The patent filing suggests that the adverts would only be targeted to a person's Facebook friends if the user had limited their privacy settings that way. That language from that article anyway suggests that the default would be that it goes to everybody.
If your privacy settings are public, I
Yeah.
think it would go to everybody.
I don't really think that makes any sense.
I don't
though.
think they would do that.
It doesn't make
necessarily.
sense.
But if they found a particularly good one, like a fairly professional
Yeah.
photo,
Yeah.
they might decide.
And you're a
to do it.
babe? Yeah, they might.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Seems weird. I actually do see the business sense, as creepy as it is, and how we're all mad right now. I could see why they would pitch this as a product.
Well, yeah. I mean, cold, completely blind to civilization businessman, I completely get it as well, because you're showing someone their friends
That's cool.
consuming or using a product.
Well, that's what advertising it has always been like, associating the brand with something you like, and
You're
usually
like forcing word of mouth.
the safe bet was always like, okay, use George Clooney, use someone we all like. But now, because it's so personal,
George
we can
Clooney
say,
wears this watch.
hey,
Maybe you should
I
too.
happen to know you're friends with this person.
Yeah.
How about I just show you them, or even yourself? Like, hey, remember a year ago when you had all that fun eating those cheesies? Get cheesies again, man. That was a good night.
I really hope that this goes poorly and there's like someone doing something bad with a product.
This is exactly what I think. Like, oh, look
I
at
really
someone
hope.
drinking Grey Goose. That's my alcoholic friend.
Yeah.
That guy's not okay.
He's in rehab.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Like, totally shoot yourself in the foot. How are they gonna know? There's no way for them to know.
I really hope that if this does get put in place, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, I really hope it goes sideways in like glorious ways.
I don't see how they could ever really implement this because the optics are so
trolled.
bad, and then that's obvious. That's an obvious downside. It could easily happen. Or like,
And like you see the amount of times that like what was that Microsoft AI that people like made racist?
oh yeah.
Because it like learned
On
from
Twitter,
the people and then
wasn't
they
it?
like pushed it. Yeah. So like people love messing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll just upload pictures of me holding Doritos bag and like holding
Yeah.
it by my crotch.
Yeah.
But that won't affect it though because remember Facebook identifies it with algorithmically and then hands it to the brand. So people are
Yeah.
gonna see it. So you can't
Okay.
just troll like that. Unless it's a brand that likes that. If it's like a weird brand, like it's D brand or something and I'm wearing only D brand, they might actually like that.
D-Brand would be like, heck yeah. D-Brand's hilarious. I
So
don't know.
I
This
looked
is
into whether or
spook.
not. Remember a few years ago? This was actually a few years ago, like back when I was in university, maybe almost a decade ago. There was a
We're
bunch
so
of
old.
stuff going around that was like, "Did you know that you don't own your photos on
Yeah.
Facebook? Facebook
Yeah.
owns your photos."
Yeah.
So I looked into it, and at least this, I believe this is source 2 here. An article from 2017 said, you in fact do own your photos. You own them, and if you take them away, Facebook can't use them anymore.
But they can use them while they're on the platform, right?
Correct. When they're on the platform, Facebook has total license to do stuff with them, including sub-licensing them to, say, Pepsi Cola or whatever. So start deleting the ones you don't. All the times you were photographed holding Doritos or something, just delete them if you don't want this to happen.
Yeah. Or just stop really using Facebook.
Delete Facebook.
Nice. Heck yeah.
It's so useful in other ways.
Basically, the only reason why I have it is getting in contact with people that are sometimes very hard to get in contact with.
Yeah.
Because phone books aren't like really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Facebook's the yellow pages.
Yep. It's really good for those weak ties.
Yeah.
I don't have your
Yeah.
number. We're
Yeah.
not really friends. I met you. You're useful now.
Yeah.
I want to get in touch.
Here's a message. Amazon, speaking of...
Are we at halftime? Should we?
Are we? We are, pretty much. We can do the thing. I don't know what I'm leaning back to do. Squarespace, let's do that.
I'll also lean back.
Partway through, I was just like, where am I going? I'd have no idea. Squarespace gives you the tools you need to build and grow your online presence. So you could make a really cool website with all your information on it instead of a Facebook page. They've got tons of templates spanning a large variety of categories. Do you need a website or a blog? How about your wedding or a business? Squarespace has you covered. They're actually, I know quite a few couples that have spun up Squarespace websites
Yep.
for the wedding. Super fast,
Yep.
really easy. Get started with a free 14-day trial and head to squarespace.com/WAN to get 10% off your first purchase. You can see it down here. You get a domain quickly through Squarespace if you need one, or port over an existing domain that you already own. And I believe, this isn't in the notes right here, but I do believe if you sign up for a year, that domain gets thrown in.
Yeah, you usually get a free one.
Yeah.
In my experience with them. you
Yeah.
did.
I think
Which
you have to
is
sign up
nice.
for a year because buying a domain generally lasts for a minimum of a year at a time, so that makes sense. But yeah. Moving onwards, we have Displate. Displate?
Display right here.
This one?
This one?
Displate is a magnet-mounted metal print.
Pull it
Also
off
known
of
as-
there.
Woo!
See you later.
Goodbye, and then you could be like, no. Vancouver's upside down.
Whoa, the upside down.
What do you think about that? It's abstract.
Or utilities. Need to bludgeon?
You
How about a fan? Whatever you need.
use the corner of it, really
There
cut
it is.
into something. Heck yeah.
pretty good.
They're durable, as you probably just saw. You don't need any power tools to hang it, clearly, which is cool. There's over 260,000 different arts spanning a bunch of different styles and influences. With their easy magnet mounting, there are no holes in the wall, and it's replaceable.
I'm really trying to serve the OCD people out there. This is gonna
Make it-
bother
yeah,
people, like
yeah.
probably me.
Speaking of that, though, if you were going to, if you hung it originally like that, unlike a lot of things, you can just turn it back. I'm gonna try to also do a good job,
Good luck, pal.
but like you can make sure it's correct after the fact, which is pretty cool. They also plant 10 trees for each Displate purchased.
Whoa, that's a lot of trees per display.
That's quite a few trees.
Whoa,
Yeah.
didn't know that one.
head to our link below and use offer code LTT to save 15% today. There you go. Offer code down
15.
here. Boop, boop, boop,
Not
boop.
bad.
Plant 10 trees and buy a thing for your wall and save 15% while doing it. Heck yeah. And pia. We got a new domain thing, which is cool. lmg.gg/PIA-WAN instead of the crazy long thing it was
Piawan.
before. Piawan.
Piawan. That sounds like an island in the Philippines.
That'd be good. That'd be cool if it was. Private internet access supports a variety of VPN protocols and types of encryption and authentication, allowing you to dial in the exact level of privacy protection you need, which is cool. It has apps for Windows, macOS, Android, iOS. It still says Linus, but Linux, Google Chrome, and support for several other platforms coming soon. You connect up to 5 devices at the same time. Apps include DNS leak protection and IPv6 leak protection. This one is my favorite part, actually. The internet kill switch will block all traffic if the VPN becomes disconnected unexpectedly. So you don't have to worry about a security hole if something happens with PIA or something happens between you and PIA, so your connection to them is faulty for a second, no data will go through. So there'll be no data that is unencrypted, which is pretty neato. Check it out today at lmg.com/PIA-WAN. Or Piawan.
Piawan. Piawan.
Piawan.
The emphasis matters whether you're talking about the island or the people that live there. This is a very niche Philippines joke here. Amazon.
Speaking of not niche, I don't know. Amazon workers are listening in on Echo Audio, report says. Oh,
People are mad and I don't
boy.
know why.
It's lmg.gg.
did I say?
LMG.gg.
heck yeah.
You do this every week.
Get out of here, Jake.
Maybe you should have a better domain.
We're past that stage. We're talking about Amazon now.
Yeah. Apparently it's lmg.gg, and I said com. Sorry about that. See, my website is cool and has a .com, fullplane.com. Go subscribe. Heck yeah. Anyways, Amazon workers are listening to what you tell Alexa. What did you say? You're wondering why people are mad?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Bloomberg reports. Okay, first of all, Bloomberg lately, I think they've eroded their trust.
You know who's been way more off the board than Bloomberg, in my opinion? Forbes.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
Weird stuff.
I'm not talking about weird topics. I'm talking about trust because it started with that report they made about the
Sorry, Forbes. I don't know.
the
anything about-
Chinese like microchip
Yeah,
spying.
that was weird.
A lot of people were like, I don't know, doesn't sound credible. And then from there, they had a recent one, and now this anyway. Bloomberg
Yeah, I don't think
reports.
Forbes is necessarily non-credible. They just do weird stuff now.
Bloomberg reports Amazon tasks outside contractors as well as full-time Amazon employees to comb through snippets of audio from Echo devices to help train Alexa, the company's voice-enabled assistant. The clips include both explicit commands and background conversations, presumably background conversations that are caught happening after
Yeah.
you say the hot word.
Probably kind of whatever. I would
Just
suspect.
whenever?
Yeah.
What?
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
There's nothing that stops them from doing it whenever.
Well, it's not supposed to connect to the servers until you say the hot word.
Sure. I'm sure they could do it absolutely whenever. And they're trying to train it to be better, right? So they could be trying to train it to pick up
The thing is,
words.
I don't think they have to. I don't think. Okay, I hear what you're saying there. Like, what if someone says the hot word, but then they want to hear 10 seconds before that to see if it took that person 20 tries? And then they can learn, oh, okay, you're Scottish and this is how you say it.
Or if
you
someone
weirdo.
was trying to say it and failed and gave
This is
up
what I'm saying.
and then just Googled it or whatever and didn't use the device. So maybe it never went through. Maybe they never heard the hot word
How will they know that someone tried?
by listening to everything.
Oh, okay. You're a little tinfoil hatty. I think they don't have to.
I think they could.
Because there's so many commands every day.
But you could go with false matches that are fairly high percentage.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like they
okay.
think you might have tried, but it wasn't good enough for them to actually activate. They could still listen to those periods of time.
But how they wouldn't be able to identify those because it's only going to connect to the service and only record when you actually did make a match.
Is that 100% true? Are you sure it only records when you fully make a match?
Yeah, like if you say, like, "Hi, Boogle," then it's It's like, nope. Like, I have my Google Home set to go ba-dink after I say it.
Yeah.
And there are times where I'm watching a movie and someone just says something totally they'll say like, yes, please. But they say it in a way that sounds like the hot word. And it'll go ba-dink when I'm just watching a movie.
Because I know, probably not right now. Someone in chat's like, "Hi, Google." I know probably not right now, but for quite a while there, the biggest concern was it not detecting when people were trying. So I would expect them to try to find the ways that people were saying it when it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And they could have a thing where maybe it detects that you're trying, but it doesn't think it's close enough. So it records the audio, but it doesn't do a command.
Yeah. It could happen.
Like, I'm not saying they record every single word anyone ever says anywhere near them, and they might, but I kind of doubt it.
But from an engineer perspective, it's like,
that's a
hey,
lot of
these are the
freaking
weak
storage.
points.
Yeah, and you would
That's-
want to learn how to improve that.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see them passing through recorded audio and being like, what was this? Was this supposed to be an accurate match? Did our system rate it maybe a little too highly? Was it someone on a TV show saying something completely unrelated?
Another related issue to that was, I mean, we haven't really even explained the whole story yet. You get it, though. They want to train this machine to do a better job, and surprise, they're using humans to do that. You thought maybe they were just putting more computers on it, but obviously humans are really good at speaking. So if you want to train this thing to speak better, you just take the snippets that you're giving the machine and let humans annotate to tell the machine how to do it better. It's pretty obvious they're using humans, but I guess Amazon never explicitly said they were doing that. On their website, it says that user requests are applied to train our speech recognition and natural language understanding systems. It doesn't say with humans, but it also doesn't not say that. So I think if you think about it for a bit, you would assume that they're using humans.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. I always thought they were.
Yeah,
It's
and,
very-
and it's not just Amazon. They're all doing this.
Yes.
Apple does this. Google does this as well.
I'm very surprised this was news because how else are you supposed to?
Yeah, of course. That's,
Like,
that's why I said I'm like, duh.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I think one thing that does concern me is like, do they sell this data? Because they're super unrelated, and this I don't really use these devices too often, so I don't know. But I have one, but it's right by my computer, so I usually just end up using a browser anyways. I don't know, whatever. But like, do outside apps have listen, I guess, but like read access to these files effectively?
I don't.
Like, could an app that ties into your Echo get read access to your voice to try to figure out its side of things better?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. I think it.
But like that, so my reference for this very shot in the dark thing,
Yeah.
and I'm not surprised you say I don't think so. But my reference for that is the Gmail thing that happened forever ago that I brought up before the show, where people didn't realize that not a lot actually, but some very few third-party apps have read access to your emails, and people were personally reading those emails, and there was apparently accounts of people like finding funny videos and emails and sharing it to each other for laughs and stuff.
So first of all, it would be.
And this is pretty unrelated, though.
This would be text, right? Because it's gonna go
Right,
to Google
okay.
servers
Yeah, yeah.
and be transcribed as text, and then they wouldn't even get the raw text. I wouldn't think. Or I would think they wouldn't get the raw text because Google would have to say, "Oh, this is a command for this
No.
API," and then send
Google
that.
keeps the audio recording.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about Amazon, but Google keeps the audio
they do.
recording.
But what I'm saying is to give it to the third party. Google would receive the audio, turn it to text, and
yeah.
then determine, oh, this text is relevant to that third party, and then hand that command over.
So they probably do get the text, but they
I don't think they
almost certainly don't get the
I don't
voice.
think they even get the raw text. I think they get the determination of what that text was. And there are some commands you have to issue on random TVs. I've seen this where you have to be, "Hi Google, ask third party to do this." Like, "Hi Google, ask LG to turn off the lights."
Okay.
And then that's just like,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
in
yeah.
that case, because you're explicitly saying ask LG, then LG would get the full thing.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not sure how these interactions work.
Well, one point I wanted to make was, you would think intuitively that when they're listening to these voice clips, that they would be a random sample, a big swath from all the users. But maybe it's not. Maybe there's some users that they're listening to more. Like maybe if you have a Scottish accent or an accent that has conventionally been very
little bit
difficult
more
for these.
difficult,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, that guy's great. We're gonna train on that guy. I mean, there's overfitting problems in machine learning if you only use a few examples like that. But it might be a subset of the population that's getting listened to more often.
Yeah,
Could
I
happen.
suspect it would be if you have like a super generic voice for an area that has a very high population. It's less likely that I guess yours would be used for sampling super often.
Yeah, or if they're trying to break into a new market, or they
Yeah.
know that they suck at that market,
And,
they
you're
only
like
have a few
on the
users.
forefront of technology in that area.
Yeah, you're like, well, we only have 10 people from Glasgow. We're gonna use all of them.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
But there's some other interesting things in this story. The big question on everyone's mind right now is probably like, hey, when they're listening to this voice clip of me, do they know it's me? In the case of Amazon, it appears that they know your first name and like there's a product serial number or something, but they don't have your last name or any other identifying things. In the case of Apple, I think they have less than that. They don't have your first name, and they have a randomly generated number to associate to your account. So it's pretty safe. That said, the clip can contain sensitive information. I could be talking about my friend's full name. I could be talking about my bank stuff. I could be
Dude,
talking about
some of
anything.
I looked into my own. This was years ago. It's probably better at detection now, but I looked into my own like, hey Google information.
That
has-
probably worked actually.
Yeah?
I say
That's why you say hi.
That's why I said hi.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My bad. But I looked into like all the different audio snip recording things. The amount of times that I was in the car and just like an audiobook or the radio was on, where definitely no one said that, and it just has a recording of that is insane.
Oh, wow.
The amount of recordings there are of me not trying to interact with it is wild.
Wow.
Like many hundreds.
well, how do you know for sure that definitely no one said that? Because I believe that after the hot word, then there's a delay and then the recording. So
Because
the audiobook,
I would be silent in the car.
no, but the audiobook could have said it like a second before.
They're like Star Wars audiobooks generally.
You would be surprised. Like I said, mine's beside my couch, and I can hear it when it gets activated, and you'd be surprised sometimes what activates it. Like, let's go. They might say, let's go, and it activates it.
Oh no, yeah. But what I'm saying is like it wasn't unintentional activations. It might be like I'm sure there's a sound that sounded something like whatever. Maybe some alien has a weird name in Star Wars, but like the amount of times all I was saying is unintentional stuff that ends up in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you were saying like personal information. Obviously, Star Wars doesn't count for that, but there was a lot of other recordings as well, where it's just like a random. I can barely even remember the conversation, but it's clearly a random conversation between me and a friend, and we're clearly not trying to interact with.
I see
Google
what you're
at that
saying.
time.
A lot of what happens to me is I'll have people over, like a dinner party or something. I'll interact with it to change the song, and then I know I can just kind of turn away and keep talking, and I know that the machine will know that what I'm talking about now isn't relevant. So even though
eventually
the
cut
light's
off.
still blinking, it'll be like, yeah, and I can just keep having my conversation. But that's gonna be recorded.
Yeah.
There's gonna be an extra 8 seconds of me talking about tacos.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is the kind of stuff where like a lot of modern technologies in various ways you give up certain privacies or securities to have those technologies. And this is one of them. If you want to have a smart speaker in your home, just understand this stuff and move forward. You're caring about your security is very important. It's probably fine though. Like
What do you think of this question? Though the job is usually uninteresting, 2 workers said that they heard what they believed to be an instance of sexual assault. They were told eventually that it was not Amazon's responsibility to take action. So, they go to their manager, you guys, someone at the company has the means to find out who this is. Like, should we tell the authorities and say, like someone got beaten up here, or like they should get a record or something like that?
one of the big problems with this is just like role play, BDSM, etc., 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 where like it could be totally above board. And now there's the police knocking on your door because you have a AI helper robot thing.
Yeah, and you never authorized.
Maybe it's a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a weird, freaky anime. You crazy people. I don't know.
Yeah.
That to me is a little bit like I totally appreciate the idea of reducing those types of things, but the Minority Report also freaks me the hell out. And there's a lot of stuff that could make someone think that are okay.
Yeah. It is not their responsibility. That is true. I think
Yeah.
I agree with Amazon's
Yeah.
take there. It's not. Although, okay, they might have a responsibility if something actually does happen and they get subpoenaed to release recordings. They've had to do that in the past. If it can be used as evidence.
But I think that's, whether you think that's okay or not, that is definitely a totally different thing. They're
Agreed.
not being proactive, they're reacting to law enforcement. Like, it's, whether you think it's okay or not, I think they're in totally different
I agree with you
segments.
there.
Yeah.
Super chats?
Super chats, let's go.
They're like normal chats, but Uber. Super.
Bunch of people sending $1 with no text. I appreciate it.
Very
though.
nice. Appreciate you.
Someone's asking about some lag on Floatplane. I think we know what's going on there, but it seems like it did go pretty well today. Every week it's improving a little bit. I like the pictures you guys have on the wall. Cool. Go to Floatplane and buy Luke a better office. Heck yeah. I like my office right now, but we do have to move because LMG is expanding so darn fast.
You guys gotta move?
Eventually, because you guys are going to be out of space.
Yeah.
Like, actually.
Good God.
Yeah. The rate at which LMG is hiring is just wild. And Floatplane's hiring too. And I'm trying to bring people in locally. Like, there's one, Will is moving here very soon.
Holy.
One of the new hires that we have is a Canadian who will be moving here locally. So, like, within the next 6 months, we'll probably have 2 more people locally.
Yeah.
And there's other people moving in locally.
That's
for
all it
Floatplane.
takes. Honestly, if
We're
they're-
already oversized at that point.
If between the two companies there were 6 more people, it'd be over.
Done. Yeah.
And that's gonna happen really soon.
Yeah, so like I'm actively looking for other places. It's gonna be really weird, but oh well.
Are you still gonna come over for Friday WANs? It'd be sweet if you guys were just in this complex or something.
That'd be so I wanted that too, but realistically, these are
These
all.
buildings aren't suited for that, really.
Yeah, we just need office space.
Yeah.
So it's like
You
probably
should go
not
downtown, be one of those like exposed brick, polished concrete, super
So
hip.
expensive.
Yeah, you're a startup though, baby. Get that investor cash.
There's just reading about people in our space, not even necessarily competitors, but in our space that are like, oh yeah, they just got like $20 to $40 million in VC fund. I'm like, oh jeez.
Yep.
People talking about the audio. Apparently the focus was screwed up like the whole show. The focus is for like the back of our chairs. So when you and I are leaning forward, we're like super out of focus.
Oh well.
So that sucks. Did they offline us? No, he was away and then his plane came in late, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think he was planning to come ever though,
Probably not.
because like he was in England today.
Yeah, so his time shift is going to be
No,
super
thanks,
weird.
Yeah.
I dare you guys to eat the Carolina Reaper Savage Jerky. I don't think they were sponsored this week, so we don't have any here, but we've done it before.
On my very first WAN, I did that.
Oh, damn. Alexa and Google Home do save recordings where nothing happens. I just researched this and tested it for a class project.
Send us your paper, bro.
Yeah, I'm interested. Do it up.
Email me your thesis.
Luke, from one broadcast, dye your hair green.
Oh, I think green's the ugliest hair color.
And love from
Well,
India.
actually, it depends on the green.
I think it can be, definitely.
It can be.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for Super Chats. I believe we're... Wait, are we done? No.
We have one more topic.
Yeah.
There's one more.
Oh, I see what people are talking about. Sorry about that. There you go. What is the one more?
Walmart adding more robots. Walmart already employs many robots. They're getting lots more. They have announced that they will deploy 1,500 new Auto C autonomous floor cleaners. You know, like those floor cleaner things that people ride on, like the kind of like little Zambonis. I think they don't need those anymore. But 1,500. How many Walmart locations are there?
Yeah, there's not very many in the grand scheme of Walmart. Like, here, okay.
Walmarts are large though. I'm gonna make a guess. How many Walmart locations are there? There's 50 states. They're in multiple countries. I'm gonna say 3,000. 4,700.
That's actually... I guess it's more than you thought.
So this
I
is
was
pretty
guessing
significant.
around 6K, so
Do you think that they're gonna get one floor cleaner per store? Like in their test, the subset of stores that are testing this, do you think they're getting more than one?
Yeah, no, I think they'd just get one.
Just one, okay.
Because if it's automated, it can cruise around and do whatever. I
All
don't
night.
think yeah.
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 So Walmart is getting 1,500 Auto C autonomous floor cleaners. They're getting only 300 Auto S shelf scanners. What does that thing do?
Probably just check inventory.
How? I'm picturing like those like surveillance drones in Star Wars that are like those balls with all the antennas, like just hovering down the aisles. Beep,
Yeah.
pop, pop.
That'd be awesome. I
shoot with a
suspect
blaster.
it's just gonna ride along the ledge of the shelf.
You think it's? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm really not sure.
They're getting an additional 1,200 fast unloaders to scan and sort items as they come off delivery trucks.
This one's interesting. Plus, to streamline online orders, it'll have 900 pickup towers, so customers can order something on the company's site and pick it up from a vending machine at their nearest Walmart. Oh, that's less interesting than what I thought
It's
it was.
'cause it's
I
at
thought
a Wal- it's
Walmart
at
was
a
like
Walmart.
building towers across the country. I'm just like, this is getting very medieval corporate.
It's just a big
But it's just yeah.
and it's at a Walmart location,
it's
so
really
that's not even.
not that interesting at
Just
all.
buy from the store.
Yeah, holy cow. The idea is that by pushing menial tasks to the robots, Walmart's human employees can spend more time helping customers and preparing online orders for pickup.
That is sweet.
Bull crap.
Yes,
They'll just fire them.
they'll replace them eventually.
Yeah.
But it is.
I
at
guess
least
in the
for
meantime,
now.
while they're unsure,
In the meantime, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you don't have to do this anymore, so you can just help people, which is cool.
we got a few years of awesome,
Yeah,
and then a lot
it's-
less people have jobs.
It sucks when you're walking around a store and you're like, who works here? And then you see someone who works there and they're doing something. And you're like, hey, can I bug you? And they're like, I guess.
One thing I've always wanted, especially at Home Depot, is like, and Home Depot has an app and that I believe is supposed to do this, but last time I tried it, it sucked. But maybe it's gotten better because I haven't tried it in forever. But I want to be able to be on my phone in the store and just be like, where the heck is this thing? And have it tell me.
Turn left.
Because that's pretty much the only reason why I ever need store
Yeah.
employees.
Yeah, for sure.
Is where the heck is this, like, the last thing I needed was like a shelf peg. It's like, where would that be?
A shelf peg.
Yeah.
Like, what's
And
that?
like the little like clear plastic little L-shaped thing that you put in the hole on a shelf to hold the individual.
Oh, like a bracket. Like a, that you put
But
shelves on.
no. But they're like super tiny,
Oh.
like this big. It has a little metal nubbit, and there's a hole drilled in
Did
the
you
shelf.
say
and
nubbit?
Nubbit. I don't know what to call it.
Okay.
Is
I
nubbit
wouldn't
a
know where to
word?
buy that either, dude.
Right? It's
Hardware in the.
Canadian Tire has it. Aisle and shelf. That's cool. That's sweet. But like, do you have to install an app? I know I just said.
Does Nubbit
it'd be
have
cool if
two
they had an
T's?
app. What even is
Nubbit, world's best stable digital currencies. Nubbit. Two B's maybe? N-U-B-B-I-T? What is a Nubbit, dude?
Urban Dictionary Nubbit? Oh, geez.
It's a word now.
Yeah.
Someone make a new
sure.
entry.
Yeah, there we go.
A Nubbit.
Make it not the one that's on there right
It's
now.
like a nubbin.
No, just their site. Okay, that's cool. Being able to use apparently Canadian Tire website to look for an item and let you know where it is.
I
But then,
wonder-
like-
but how do they let you know? They say like it's aisle 49?
Aisle and shelf. It's good enough.
Oh, that's
for me.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I would like
one
a-
thing.
Can I just say I'd like to have a beep? I'd like to have a warmer, colder beep, beep. Is that an alien? Beep, 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 beep. Ah, they're really close to us.
Maybe I think so.
I think that's the original alien stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's Predator. So yeah, I think so. But I like one thing that I think is pretty important too, though, is that it needs to be able to be pretty good at guessing what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because especially in a place like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, where it's like hardware, the amount of people that are going to go in there and be like, I need a screw. It's like, what screw? It's like, this one. Like, I don't know. It would be cool if you can take a picture or something. Like, I don't know.
Well, the one way to do that, like, yeah, you could take a picture when you get it, but no one's gonna do that. But another way you could do it is if you had an account and you were signed in, when you go to check out, they have a record of what you bought. So if what you bought is even remotely close to what you searched, they'd be like, that's what he meant by Nubbit.
So we can learn what the heck Nubbit is over time.
Shelf Nubbits.
Heck yeah. I called them. The reason why I'm like particularly triggered about this shelf peg thing is because it took me I think 4 or 5 employees to find it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd ask one and they send me somewhere and I get in there and I'd be like, this is planks of wood. This is not plastic things with little metal things coming out of them.
They didn't accompany you. They just sent you and see you later. They knew.
But like honestly, they're so freaking busy. Each one of them were helping like 3 or 4 people. They couldn't move. I didn't blame them.
They need more they need more auto C's and auto S's
Yeah.
to help them.
Come on, Home Depot, figure it out.
But yeah, you're right. Eventually, it'll just be no one working the checkout. It'll be guest service. and a couple of people walking around, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And
And then
isn't
even
that
then, that'll
ideal?
probably eventually go away,
If they're all just Amazon Go stores,
pretty much.
like.
And then there might even be those like remote presence style robots, but there's no one actually there, and it's just an AI that just rolls around. How are you doing today?
And if they have to, you can do live chat. You just get someone up on the screen.
Yeah.
All right,
you just
dude.
have a call center
What?
effectively. What do you need?
How did you get elevated to this? The nubbits are over there.
Why did you press 0 5 times? Come on, give me a break. It's a Friday. Yeah. I don't know.
I kind of. Is it? I don't know if I'm naive or just a butthole, but I kind of welcome the.
If you go to a grocery
Disappearance
store
of
that
jobs?
has automated checkout, really, that's not the direction I thought you were going with.
Yeah, like I've been to a McDonald's once in Australia, and these young people. I was using the. It was empty. Okay, there was no
These
lineup.
young people.
There was no lineup, and these young women were like, "Hey, don't use the self menu thing. Save someone's job and go up there." And I was like, "Nope. I would like to send the signal that I prefer this. I don't think anyone should work at the front of this. I don't know. I think maybe because
How do you want to solve
I'm a
that problem,
techno
though?
optimist.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I like to believe that in the eventual future where no one's working there, the people that are working are getting paid a lot, and the people who aren't working are on a beach playing guitar and
I love this idea, but
It's-
how do you like fund those people?
corporate taxes.
Corporate taxes. Okay.
I don't have all the answers, man. I'm not like Noah Yuval Harari or whatever.
See, but I think
can
one
dream.
of my problems there is like you would need. This is going super off topic, and the show's almost over, so we can cut it pretty quick. But like, how aggressive are your allowances for small business then? Because there's a lot of industries like the one Floatplane is trying to get into now, that to penetrate properly, you're going to have to get relatively large.
Yeah. You mean
And
stuff like content ID.
If we had super aggressive corporate taxes so that people that would be working at McDonald's and they don't actually need to do that job because that should be automated relatively quickly because we're wasting human potential, can go sit on a beach or make art or whatever, if our corporate taxes have to pay for that, we're screwed when we have to go up against these giant companies.
Sure. There's other proposals. Someone had a proposal about making robots pay income tax. I think The Economist magazine was like, that's a bad idea. I read that article. I don't remember why. It's a bad idea. But I'm not saying that the tools we have now are going to be sufficient in that world.
I think I am very strongly in agreement that like wow, we're going way off topic here, but like the mass waste of human potential is amazing. Just what the lengths people will go to, and the fact that like someone can be very good at something, but modern hiring processes have not really gotten much better in like a really long time. So you have to, even if you're an extremely skilled person at something, you probably have to go through the Walmart or McDonald's or whatever grind so that you can like eventually land a job somewhere good. Like
Yeah.
placement of very skilled people is not very good.
Yeah, especially if you're an immigrant.
Yeah, there's a lot of different situations.
I'm an
where it's
engineer.
terrible.
Why?
I'm a doctor. I'm driving a taxi. Taxis, that should probably be automated. Why? We're so close to that being done. The whole transportation industry is just going to poof. Maybe that's good. Driving a vehicle is not. Driving a vehicle on most situations, there are obviously certain situations where it's extremely highly skilled, but in most people's day-to-day, driving a vehicle is a menial task.
Yeah.
Automate that stuff. Get people doing
Get
more
rid of it.
important things. But it's just how do you support those people? Anyways,
It's going to be short-term hard
yeah. Short term, extremely difficult.
Yeah. for individuals whose lives matter.
Yeah.
So let's end the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Outro. Poof. Oh, geez, I didn't set it back. There we go.
One more plug for Displate right here.
Yeah.
And you're dead. WAN.
Some guy made an account. Ian Nubbit. Subscribe to Floatplane. There's another person just made straight up just Nubbit.
Nubbits. Ian Nubbit, you're a legend.
Frodo
Nubbits. There's so many Nubbits.
The marked Nubbit? What's happening? I didn't notice this at all.
Welcome to the Nubbit Show.
Heck yeah.
Everybody make the name something and end with Nubbit. It will be our inside joke.
Not inside joke anymore.
Very outside.
Displate, PIA, Squarespace.
Squarespace.
Reset. We're out of here.
Later.